Everybody is familiar with Psalm 23. And what caught my attention today was verse 4 that goes, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." Another translation goes, instead of valley of the shadow of death, says a valley of deepest darkness. There are in our lifetime some times of confusion, hard moments, periods of time that even there is no light at all. And even when we can lose or have lost the purpose of life, I can see my own story, that deepest darkness, as we sing today, on today Psalm 23. The only difference is I couldn't say I will fear no evil. There is a beautiful scene on TV series on The Flash, where Barry, the Flash, when he's still a child, doesn't want to go to bed in the darkness. So his mom tells him, "You are not afraid of the dark, Barry. You are afraid of being alone in the dark." And that goes away when you realize something. You are never really alone. If I look back on my story, I've been afraid of being alone in the darkness. As you know, not physical darkness, but those dark moments in our lifetime. When I was a child, as you know, many of you know, I suffered my mother's absence, dark moment. And I found myself alone. When I went to the seminary, I was 19. I experienced again a dark period of time. I was in love, and at the same time I found God, and He was enough. And I was alone in my decision. God, marriage. On my first days of being a newly ordained priest, 14 almost years ago, language barrier, English, new culture, making some mistakes in my pastoral ministry. Again, I was alone. Hard moments. And the list can go on. Passages of my life. And I found myself afraid and alone. In words of Kierkegaard, loneliness and anguish. But now I found out something. I realized something. Loneliness is part of being a human. Loneliness affirms our individuality. Growing, becoming mature means to face my loneliness. This will make me responsible for my own decisions, for my own mistakes, and for my own achievements. Loneliness will open the door to my interior, to my own soul, to find out really who I am. The valley of the deepest darkness has been God's school for me. Let me explain myself. Benedict XVI, explaining the Lord's Prayer, says shares a beautiful thought. He says, in order to mature, in order to make real progress on the path leading from the superficial piety into profound oneness with God's will, man needs to be tried. Just as the juice of the grape has to ferment in order to become a fine wine, so too man needs purifications and transformations. They are dangerous for him because they present an opportunity for him to fall, and yet they are indispensable as paths on which he comes to himself and to God. Love is always a process involving purifications, transformations, and painful transformation of ourselves, and that is how it is a journey to maturity. That is why I can say that that was God's school for me. So life is a series of lessons, some of them obvious, some of them not. We learn as we go that dream end, that plans get changed, that promises get broken, that our idols can disappoint us. There, in such a dark valley, the deepest darkness, is the opportunity to become human. Why I'm saying this? Because on today's gospel, we heard that the shepherd walks ahead of the sheep. Jesus has crossed the shadow of death before me. So I can now say, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. And I realize, going back to my story, that I have never really been alone. I think today's readings can help us to find the joy in those dark moments of our lives, especially to recognize the crucified and resurrected Jesus involved in our own lives, loving us, leading us, and that He has always been present there. May the Lord bless you and have a wonderful Sunday.